Friends, today I am going to speak on how to make the crucial transition from offline teaching or classroom based teaching and evaluation to that of online teaching and evaluation. In these difficult times, this transition becomes vital because even if the epidemic subsides or reduces, still we are a long way off from our goal of conducting regular classroom based teaching sessions because of the necessity to create self distancing and maintaining discipline and all these things. So, the ideal way to generate and transmit learning material to the students is online methodology. The goal of online teaching should always be very clear. It should fulfill the requirement of a self-learning student. So the resources created should be self-explanatory, should be self-contained, should be self-directed, should be self-motivating. The student should be able to self-evaluate themselves, and the materials should be targeted towards specific audience. The material should be audience specific. So these are some of the goals which we need to set ourselves before starting on generation of creation or generation of learning materials for the students. Now, throughout the course of this discussion or throughout the course of this presentation, I will be discussing the free options or not so costly options for the benefit of teachers and students. So I'll be focusing largely on the free options because that is going to help us a lot. That is going to help us a lot in disseminating cost effective knowledge to the students. So let us explore and find out what common free options that are available. The first option and the widely used option is the Google Classroom facility. The Google Classroom facility comes really free. It has a free tier mechanism wherein any person with a Google ID we can create a classroom and they can upload their candidate specific learning materials to the classroom. Students can log into the classroom and access these materials. In fact, classroom can act as a collaborative teaching effort because the classroom maker can invite other teachers to join the initiative. So let us just go ahead and see how the interface or how a Google Classroom looks like. This is actually a Google Classroom which has been created for the benefit of students of auto learning world. Here, as soon as the initially as soon as you log in, get into the classroom, click create new classroom, it will ask a few sets of questions which you need to answer. Where what is the basic name of the classroom, what group of students you are going to entertain inside the classroom. All these details will be asked, and ultimately when the classroom is made, you will get a page like this. Here, this code, this class code is actually most unique. You need to copy it. You need to share it with the students who want to access this classroom. By keying in this class code only, they will be able to get into the classroom. Before getting into the classroom, they should have a Google ID. They should first create a Google ID and then use this class code as shown here to join the class. Here in the first phase, you see the stream. So here you have a nice looking logo here. You can select a different theme. You can upload your own customized photo. You can configure it in such a way that it will fulfill your artistic sense. But here the first tab shows what are all the active materials which are being displayed here. So you see a lot of materials that are being displayed here, and these materials listed here are active. They are very much online. Students can be easily can access these resources because they are actively streaming. They are actively streaming. That it indicates these materials are actively being served to the student. Now let us go to the classwork. So classwork is where a teacher creates material, learning materials for the students. So what they can do is they can, by clicking the create button, they can upload an assignment, create a quiz assignment, we can ask a question and answers, we can upload a learning material. So these are the way they can create a new topic. They can create a new topic on the subject and keep uploading material to it. So what are all the possible materials can be that can be uploaded to this Google Classroom? So for example, the assignment. Your assignment can be in the form of a Word document or a text document. It can be uploaded. You give the title, give instructions to the student. By clicking this add, you can go to the Google Drive. Every free tier, every person with a Google ID will have a Google Drive space of 5 GB. So mind you, all the resources you upload to your class created with your Google account will be stored only in the Google Drive. Let me tell you, let me warn you, your emails also are stored in Google Drive only. And then you can upload these documents into the Google Drive, and you can create the link just by clicking the Google Drive. It will take you to the drive, and then you can select the material and add. You can select the material and add, or what you can do is you can click the upload button and then drag and drop your file from your device, and that will be taken, stored in the Google Drive and linked to the Google Classroom. And then you can upload a file easily. Here I've seen this, I've shown the same interface. Select the file, put it here into this, drag your file into this box and give upload, click upload. It will be uploaded to your Google Drive. And ultimately, after all these things are over, by clicking the create button, you create the learning material. And then you can also go on to the YouTube link. You can, if you know the link of the specific video which you want to display it in your class, you can get the URL of the video, or you can do a search. This just type the type of video you want to display to the student. Just type it, give it a click the search button. It will reveal the video. You can choose it and you can link it to the classroom. Let us see what type of materials can be uploaded to the Google Classroom. So let us see what this is actually a video lecture. A video lecture, you can create a video lecture, upload it to the YouTube channel and give out a link to the Google. So this is actually a video lecture I have uploaded to my YouTube channel, and I have shared the link with the Google Classroom. Students can use this video lecture and they will have a feel that they have attended the class. And another type of material you can create is a website or a web page, which can be modular. For example, this website is going to teach a student everything about tracheostomy. So you see, entire subject is being projected as a website. So here is this entire website has been uploaded. The link has been uploaded to the YouTube channel so that the student will be able to access it. So this is actually the website link which can be uploaded to the Google Classroom. And then I told you can upload a link to a video lecture which I have uploaded to YouTube. Then you can upload a PDF format, PDF file, portable disk format file. For example, here I have uploaded a ebook designed with PDF. It contains a model question paper along with the solution. So you get the entire book uploaded to the Google Classroom. Students can download it, can access it, and make use of it. Then let us go to the People tab. Here, under the teacher's head, by clicking the plus button, you can send out invite to your colleagues, wherein the colleagues can join and contribute to the Google Classroom, resources to the Google Classroom. And mind you, they can only contribute, they cannot delete. They cannot delete. Only the creator of the classroom can delete. Here you can add the student. Just send invite to the student so that they'll be added. So right now you see so many students have been logging to this classroom and they are regularly utilizing the resources posted here. And now by clicking this checkbox, entire students, entire list of students are being selected. So what you do is you can prefer to send an email to the students informing them about a new resource that has been uploaded, or informing them about the assignment, or informing them about the test that has been uploaded, asking them to take the test. And then you can always select a individual student, and you can remove the student if you want. And then if you want to stop the student from commenting, just give a mute. The student won't be able to post any comments in the classroom. And next comes the marks. The students, they would have been given tests. There I have given at least 6 or 7 tests, but none of the tests have been taken by the students. If the student would have taken the test, their marks will be displayed here out of 100. So the classroom, as soon as the student completes the test, it just tabulates the mark and displays the marks of the students here. So this is one way of keeping track of the academic progress of the students. Now here you have a link to the Google Calendar. You can post your video classes, online classes can be posted here. The moment you post the class details here, it will be immediately mailed to the students who are already inside this classroom or logged into this classroom or who are regularly making use of this classroom resources. And then I've already told you all the resources you upload in this class to this class are stored in the Google Drive space. So the folder in which these resources are stored are known as Google Drive classroom folders. So you get a My Drive classroom, and here almost all the resources I have posted are available, are shown here, so that you will know that these resources are stored in my G Drive, Google Drive. So these are the things, interesting features that you can make use of using the Google Classroom. Mind you, Google is the company which is hosting YouTube. So it is very easy to link YouTube videos to Google Classroom, and then Google provides a unique facility known as forms. Examination questions can be created in forms, and these forms can be linked as resources in the Google Classroom. And as soon as the student completes answering the questions, it will be evaluated and the marks will be posted under the marks column. The next option which we are going to explore is the Microsoft Education Tool or Education Service. For this, for making use of this service, you need to subscribe to Office 365. It's a paid subscription, or your institution should have subscribed to Microsoft Education. This is a paid service, and let us see what it has got to offer us. This is actually the interface. Somehow, more or less, it should do the job of Google Classroom. It has a calendar, it has Excel, all the office tools are given. OneDrive is there, another version of G Drive. Microsoft version of G Drive is OneDrive. You can do a presentation PowerPoint. There's one interesting thing is you can create a book using Sway, self-learning book using Sway. This book was created using Sway. This is for the benefit of ENT students. I just created one chapter of the book using this Sway just to get the hang of it, and it came out well. The font really looks good. Pictures look very impressive. So it really helps us to create effective learning material. So I'm going to now show the Google, I'm sorry, Microsoft application portal. I will make it available. Just a moment. Now you should be seeing my Microsoft Office 365. This is actually my private Office 365 portal. It's a little bit expensive, but if you subscribe, it gives you access to the use of entire Office tool for 5 of your machines. So here you have a calendar wherein you can give out your classes. Then you can use this OneNote to take notes of your class. Then Sway, I've already shown what it can do. Then everyone will know what exactly Word is capable of. PowerPoint, everybody will be friendly with PowerPoint. This OneDrive is actually a Microsoft version of G Drive where you can store files. But mind you, it gives you, if you subscribe, it gives you 1 terabyte of space. 1 terabyte of space wherein you can store all your files. And then I am more impressed with this Microsoft Forms where you can create tests. And so here you can use the Outlook is actually an email client. Then this is actually a diary, a reminder which helps you to keep track of everything. And then Skype, can be used as a video calling tool. So these are all the features you get in Microsoft 365 Office. So this forms is one thing which will help us to create tests in this type of Microsoft working environment. So we will deal with these the use of these forms a little bit later. Now another educational tool I'm very enamored is YouTube. You can create video classes, you can upload the same to YouTube, or you can stream your lectures live. You can stream your lectures live. Let us see how you upload your video classes to YouTube. So you go to your YouTube dashboard. Every Google user ID will have YouTube access also. Just upload the file, select the file, push it on. It just asks you for details. You fill up those details, give a title, how to use Google Forms to create questions, quiz. I just given that title. Go down below. And here you need to tell whether you have made it for kids or not. If you say if you make it, if you say it's not for kids, say so. And then You can add tags to make it searchable in your Google search. Then if you give this embedding, so license again, standard, you can choose a standard YouTube license or Creative Commons license, and then you can, if you click allow embed, it will be bloggers can embed your videos into their blog, and then click next. Then here you have the option of saving and publishing your video. You can make it public, or I made it unlisted so that it won't be listed by the search engine because it's going to be a temporary phenomena. So the video gets processed, and ideally you should ensure that you upload high resolution videos so that the result, the video will be really good, look very nice. Yeah, the next is I'm going to show how you are going to create a live stream of your class. Again, you click on the create button, just click on go live. Here the page opens. You need to give out some information, the name of the feed, and then here you see it gives out a unique key. If you click reveal, it will reveal the key. You copy the key. The same key should be pasted in your streaming software. So I will be today introducing you to a open source free streaming software known as Open Broadcast System (OBS). So I will show where you need to key in this key. So for now you just paste it in your notepad and save it for further use. Here you can create a title for the stream. Then you have a choice of making it public or private, and then you can have upload a custom thumbnail. You can create a stream. So this is only one portion. You have created your backend. In the front end, you need to have a streaming software, that is free one. I'm just going to show you the free software. I'm not going to ask you or introduce you to a paid software. It's called Open Broadcast System, which will be seen in action soon. Now, just to show you the various options which are available to deliver your content. Now, what exactly are the options which are available to for you to create a learning material? So the commonly used learning material creation tool is your Office suite, which every one of you would be familiar with. Microsoft Office, the Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all the things, and you'll be regularly using it. And then there are certain online presentation tools like Prezi, which gives out a free trial where you can store your presentations online. And then there are various ebook writing tools available, and these ebook writing tools are really user friendly. Free version of the tools are given out free of cost to encourage you to write. And then image editing tools and video editing tools are must for your creation process. So a discussion, it needs a separate discussion, exclusive discussion period or time for both this imaging and video editing tools because they are so exhaustive, and it will take a lot of time. So currently in this program, I'm just going to touch upon it and go. I'm not going to go down and teach you what software to use or how to use. So these two software, I'm just keeping it till appropriate time where you will have a chance to show to you. Then we need to have a separate session for creating this for discussing these options, these use of these tools. I'm currently showing you my G Drive interface. Here, by clicking the new button, you can prefer to upload a file from your personal computer. You can upload an entire folder from your personal computer. You can create a Google Doc You can create Google Sheet, you can create Google Slide, and more options are available. You can create tests using Google Forms. You can draw using Google Drawing. You can access Google Maps. Then you can create websites using Google Sites. It's a real wonderful tool. You can create your own websites using G Drive. This is Google Sites. You can create a site on your own, and then you can copy your URL and a link to a website into your Google Drive, and then Google Apps. Here your Google applications, which your Android apps which you have created, code can be stored here, and out of other applications you can get from the Google Store and get it listed here. And first thing we will see is the Google Docs. So this is actually something like Microsoft Words. You key in, type, keep typing. The interface is also more or less resembles the Word. Then here at the you give it a title here. Give it a title. Document needs to have a title, and then you can download the same document in either Microsoft Word format, Open Document format, PDF document. You can download it in the form of a web page, and then this is most interesting. You can download it in ebook format, EPUB. So here, if you type a manuscript, you can ask the G Drive to download it for you in ebook format. So if you can readily create a book in your Google Doc, create a book and then download it in EPUB format. Then you can upload it to your Amazon websites, provided you have a ID in the Amazon. So this is one of the nice ways of use of Google Drive. And what are the other things? I'll show you some other useful ways. Here, Google Forms we will discuss in detail. I'm going to the Google sites. So in this here you can create wonderful looking sites. You can give a page of your title of your page, web page, then just keep typing, you get it. And then I will even go and show you some sites which I have created using G Drive. Now I'm going to here this I'm showing you some of the sites. I'll show you the site I have created for teaching the students on. I'll just show it like this. Now what you are seeing is a website I have created using tools available, Google Sites tool available in my G Drive. See how nice it looks. I will show you a preview of the site. The entire site is online. See, you can entire site you can create without knowing even a single piece of HTML code. And this site is also mobile friendly. If you want to see it in your mobile, how nice it looks, you see. Then if you want to see it in your tab, see how good it looks. Now we are seeing it in your laptop. So it's really user friendly. It is really uh, equipment friendly. You can create wonderful looking sites using Google Sites tab in your Google Drive. So you keep exploring. A lot of options are there in your G Drive. So keep trying it out. You will get wonderful new ideas, and you can even share your ideas. Now we will go back to what the things we need to see. Let us go to the evaluation part. So any teacher will like to evaluate students whether they have learned their lesson or not, whether they got to know the subject. So online teaching is incomplete if you don't perform your evaluation process. There are two ways of creating evaluation tests. One is using online tools known as forms. There are two common forms are available. One is Google Forms, which is tightly integrated to your Google Classroom and Google Drive. and whatever forms you create in Google Forms, it will be stored to your Google Drive. And then Microsoft Forms is integrated to Microsoft Office 360. And then I'm going to introduce you to a open source standalone software known as Hot Potato, which helps you to create quiz. And here Hot Potato helps you to create timed quizzes. That is the beauty of it. Let us go and see Google Form in action. As soon as you log into the Google Form using your Gmail ID, Google ID, let us create a test. You name it, then describe the test, give a description of what the test is really about, then start to key in the question. You choose whether it's going to be a multiple choice, check box, drop box, or any of the choices. What type of test you're going to do. Now we are choosing Microsoft. I'm sorry, multiple choice question. For what's the capital of India? I'm asking. You can give out an image by clicking. You can show it from the photograph. You can go to the Google Drive and search the pictures you have stored there. You can also go ahead and do a Google search to attach the images there. So you can attach images to the question. So I wanted to write something and attach a picture of Indian flag. I'm going to attach. It's inserted. So what is the capital of India? I given out the Indian flag as a picture of interest, and then I'm going to give the option. Option 1 happens to here, even here also in options you can use click this one and and stick a picture, upload a picture and make the picture to be shown in the form itself. So that the test with picture really looks nice. Basic advantage of giving out a test in uh, online test in electronic media is you can add pictures, you can add videos, and click the correct answer daily. Then you, you give a feedback to the student if is selected the right answer. Congratulate the student by giving a feedback. Then if the student has selected wrong answer, just say sorry, your answer is wrong, and this is the correct answer you can give. So these things can be added, and let us go to the incorrect answer. You just give a feedback. Sorry, your answer is wrong. Answer is new value. Correct the student. So next, you can by clicking this plus button, you can add the subsequent question. Next question, what we will choose. Let us see how tick boxes work. So here again, you will have a set. You will have a question. The answers of the student will be prompted to check the correct answer in the checkbox. So let us see what is the capital of Tamil Nadu. Here you have the option of giving out more than one correct answer. So here the student has to check more than one box. So there is the possibility of more than one correct answer. So here we are given the answer Chennai and Madras. So both of them are correct. So to answer key, you just check both Chennai and Madras. So the answer feedback, so in the correct answer, incorrect answer, you have to give the feedback. And then you say both are the same. So for the student to know exactly what exactly it means. Both Chennai and Madras are the same. Now you need to pull the slider, required slider to your right, because if you don't pull it, the student may skip the question, can skip this question. So you can also shuffle the answer, shuffle the question, and then here by clicking it, you can award points to the right answer. So each question, you click on the top of the question, it will give you the option to set the points or marks. Points is nothing but the marks. So give required. Don't forget to give required. And when you click the answer key, it will be the option. You will have the option of setting the marks for the quiz. You can also import questions from the another set of forms which you have already uploaded. The drop down. Let us see how the drop down choices work. Here you have chosen drop down questions. What is the capital of? You will say that is a question. Then you will give options. Here in the question, alongside this, under the question, you will be given a drop down box. And on clicking the drop down box, you will get the option. You need to choose the correct option. Here, don't forget again to pull the slide to the right required. Otherwise, student will have the choice of skipping the question. So now, feedback. So what the feedback is. Okay. Choose Washington as the correct answer. Award the points for the correct answer. And then give it a 10. You can set a question with short answers, 2 or 3 line answers. Who built the Taj Mahal or that? So you give a short answer text and then so you what here is you can add more than one correct answer for the simple reason your computer goes by the exact words. So you will have to give options. So you have said it was built. Somebody will say Shah Jahan. Someone will say it was built by Shah Jahan. Someone will say Shah Jahan built Taj Mahal. So you need to give out all the options here. If you don't give out all the options here, the computer will mark that answer as wrong, even though they would have student have correctly mentioned it. So if you have just mentioned it as a single word, again the computer will have to give marks towards saying that it is correct. So you need to, the beauty of this short answers, you need to give out all the possible combination. Imagine all the possible combination the student will provide and then give it as correct answer. So this is where you need to spend some time and gray matter to add all the possible combinations so that the software will not err in evaluating the answers provided by the students. Always after the question is set, make it required so that the student won't have the option to switch it. Here you can even give out a link for the answer. You can give a video as an answer. A lot of possibilities are there when you use this digital mode to send out evaluation tests for the students. Sorry, I'll just make it a little bit faster. This time. I need to show you one interesting feature here. Here, by clicking here, you can add a link web page. By clicking here, you can add a YouTube video. So you can add, you can give out a test in various formats. It can be multiple choice. It can be your test can have more than one correct answer. It can be a small paragraph. It can be one or two words. So similarly, these are the various evaluations. Say in settings, let me show. Coming to the settings, here you can change the theme, customize the color, you can add an image, then settings. Here you can collect the addresses, email address of the students. You can limit the response of the student to one, and then if you click here, edit after submit, the student will be able to edit even after submitting the answer sheet. Ensure that if you want to conduct the examination, you don't check this box, and then you should show the progress bar, shuffle the question order, and here you can release the mark immediately after each submission, or you can choose to present it later after you review manually the answers given out by the students. So these are the various ways you can save your settings. Then by clicking send, you have the option of giving it. Here you can give it as a link, you can give it as an embed code, or then you can copy the link and put it across. You can put it as a Facebook link or LinkedIn. So these are all possibilities. You can add collaborators. You can add people who will collaborate with you in creating questions. So you can add collaborators by going to the settings. So you can have a collaborator test. So it doesn't mean that only one person needs to do the test. Again, I'm taking one shot at settings. Here, preferences. You need to collect the email addresses and make all the questions required. By checking this, you make all the questions or the test required, and ultimately you send it across, and it gives out the test to the students. You can mail it, you can give it out as a link, you can give it out as an embed code, you can put it across in printer, you can put it across in Facebook. So let us see how the quiz looks like. So this is actually the quiz. You need to give your email address. So I'm giving my email address. What is the capital of India? I'm giving New Delhi, and then who built Taj? I'm going to write, and then capital of Tamil Nadu. I need to give two answers. Then you see the drop box work. Just click the down arrow. It will show the choices. Here is a one short answer. We'll drag the determinant. Here I just shown. So you need to take care that you key in all the possibilities of the students will answer. So you can view the score. If you come out with you see 5 out of 10. So probably what would happen is my answer to who built that, because it expects more. It was built, it should have been like this. It was built by Shah Jahan or built by Shah Jahan. That was not, since that was not there, it had marked the answer as wrong. Now let us go to Microsoft Forms. You can create tests and quizzes using Microsoft Forms, and let us see how forms. So this video clipping will show how exactly to make use of the form to create quiz. Actually, my Office 360 dashboard. I've spoken already about Sway. I have already shown the document I've created using Sway. Let's go jump into the forms. Here in forms, The two important aspects which I will like to tell you, that you can set the timer, you can set the date in which the student will receive the test, and then it will give you the exact time also can be frozen. And then there is one concept of branching where you can use the same test to enable two groups of students to take two different tests on two different subjects. Let us see how it works. So give a given title as geography, and then here again you can click this one and add an image or a photograph if you want. Then under the description you can type a small description or short description about test you are about to conduct. This is a test of your knowledge in geography. So you add a question, you add a choice. I'm going to type a question, which is the largest mountain or highest tallest mountain in the world. You give the option Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Aravalli. Then you add another option, Mount Everest. You can add lots of options since to save time I am limiting my options. And then you choose the right answer, give a tick, then you by clicking the message box you can type out your message, give a message to the student saying that his answer is right. Here you ensure that you can have only one correct answer. If you use this slide, if you slide this toggle here, if you push this dot here, your question will be set to a question that needs that has multiple answers. So just by using the toggle, you can set the question to be having multiple answers. Here, unless and until you push the required slider to your right, the student will have the option of skipping the question. So always ensure that you pull the toggle to the right and to avoid the number of points you you instruct the computer to avoid the number of points for the correct answer, and then go ahead and add another question. Then add another question. You see there's going to be a choice, multiple choice one, and then where is Mount Everest located? So you give the choices, options. You can go about and search for an image and attach an image to your question. That's the most interesting and beautiful aspect of online or software based. Yes, you can give out images, wonderful looking images, high resolution images, so that the students will be interested in answering the question. The first choice is Nepal, second choice is India. Some reason the image has not found its answer. We'll have to read the attachment again. China. Let us go ahead and Nepal is the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. Then you confirm that image to the dustbin. Then go to the image again. Choose Everest. Now you will be seeing a beautiful image of Mount Everest displayed on the question paper. Then you can go ahead and choose a theme for your question paper. You change the theme. Then go to the settings. Here, this is more. Here, the images come out. Here, you can accept responses. Start date. You choose the date. End time. Start time and end time. So you give out 2 hours or 3 hours. Then shuffle the questions. Then email notification for each response. Then customize a thank you message after the candidate has completed. Just send out a thank you. Here, as you can use the copy link hyperlink to copy the URL to send it out to the patient. You can send it, sorry, send it out to the student. You can give out the embed code. This is actually embed code. You can embed it in a blog or a web page or a website. Then here you can generate a QR code. Student just can use a mobile QR reader to scan it. The test will be inside his mobile. So you can download the code, or you can even scan the code right in the computer and start answering the question immediately. So these are the possible ways of delivering, interesting ways of delivering the test to the student. So the major changes you see between form of Google and Microsoft is in Microsoft form you can set the start date, start time, end time, you can time the test, and then branching. I will tell you most interesting aspect is branching. This is a demo video for explaining the branching phenomenon. Branching. This form is created to explain the concept of branching. Here, you start off by adding a new question. Make it a multiple choice one. Which subject you want to take the test on? So, which subject you want to take the test? You give out two options. One could be geography, the other one could be history. But here, there is no correct answer. You don't award points. The student has just got to choose either of the two subjects. And again, this required should not, don't push the toggle here and then click the down arrow and add a new section. Add a new section. So you name the section as geography. So as soon as the student clicks geography, he should go to the section geography. And then in the instruction, if you don't want to take the test on geography, you go back and choose the other alternative. So that instruction you need to give the student, because erroneously you can choose the wrong one. So if you don't want to take the test on geography, please go back and choose another option. Here you start giving out questions in geography, multiple choice one. But for heaven's sake, don't use the toggle, push the toggle to the right and make it required. If you make it required, everybody will be seeing the question. So where is Mount Everest located? So we are going to again add an image to make it more interesting. You can add a video also if you want. Left you choose the option. You see wonderful image. Okay. Add a date to your form. Nepal, in China I can add. Then you choose the correct answer. China is not the correct answer. Let me again redo it for you. It is Nepal. You add the number of points. China is not the correct answer. Let me tell you. It is Nepal. Geography buffs don't find fault with me. Correct answer is Nepal. So what is the name of the largest ocean? Give out the answer choices. Pacific, Indian Ocean, then Arctic. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Pacific. Choose it. Don't make it required. Don't pull the toggle. Don't make the thing required. Then you have created one section, that is geography. Now let us go and create another section. The student chooses history in a different section. So go ahead, click the plus sign or the last one, create another section. They should be. Now you are seeing how exactly the branching works. If you don't want to take the test on history, go back and make another choice. That you need to type here. You start adding questions. Can be multiple choice. You can have multiple answer. You can use text answers, short answers. Who built the Taj? You need to give the answer. ensure that you choose the correct answer. Then the marks points you award for the right answer that you need to clear. Choose the correct answer chosen. The points you award for the right answer, you make it. Then add another question if you want. Keep adding any number of questions. Here, not only the student can take different tests in the same form, different examiners can set the questions in the same form. So initially, the first question will be which examiner question paper you want to access. The name of the examiner will be given out. The student can take the name of the tutor and take the test. This is one interesting option which separates Google Forms now, the Microsoft Forms to Google Forms. Of course, Microsoft Forms is a paid version, or your institution should have brought the license. Now let us go to the settings and give out the start date and shuffle and all that. Then you will not set the branching. So click on your and settings. You should get branching. I'll show you where you branch out. Click. Yeah. Go to add branching. Geography. You go to you open up the combo box. Down, click the down arrow. Go to the geography. And eventually you cover the last question. History again. Go to geography. You need to go to the section 2 geography. And history again you need to go to section 3, that is history. And then the last question you need to say, go to the end of the last, that happens to be the last question in geography. Go to the end of the form. Go to the end of the form. So similarly in history you need to say same thing. Go to the end of the form. That's it. You save it. You can preview it. This is actually the concept of branching, which I have explained in detail. Now let us see a quiz generating software which belongs to open source category, absolutely free to download and free to install, free to use. And this is known as Hot Potato. How are you going to download and install? This video will explain. Just key in Hot Potato in your Google search. It will take you to the download page. Download the file. You get into the download folder. Then as soon as the file has been downloaded, you double click on the exe file .exe, and the smart screen says it doesn't know, just give run. The file will be installed. Choose the language English, then click next to accept the agreement. Click next. It tells you the contents. There's the folder where it will be installed. Then check the create desktop icon so that it will be available in the desktop. Then you extract the files. And then the Hot Potato gets launched. Initially at launch, you will ask for a username. You can give out your username, any name you would like. And then don't forget to check the I am network administrator. I'll be registering for all the users in this machine. Give OK. And then if you want any alternate languages, you can choose. Otherwise, you can use English at this stage. And then this is actually the interface of Hot Potatoes. So these are all the components of Hot Potatoes. The JQuiz is actually the multiple choice question creator. JCross is actually a crossword puzzle creator. JMatch is actually a matchup online creator. JMix is actually helps to create jumbled words, and JClose helps to create fill in the blanks. Then this is actually a mashup where you can choose questions from JQuiz, you can choose questions created with JCross, and then you can choose questions from JMix, you can choose questions from JClose, and you can choose questions from JMash, and you mash together and make a single test. So Masher is used to choose questions created with all these small softwares which is joined together to form hot potatoes, and you use a masher to join all these questions to give out a single unified test. Let us see how you can create quiz using hot potato. So this video will help you to generate quiz using hot potato. Now let us start with JQuiz. That is actually the multiple choice question generator. JCross is a crossword quiz generator. JMix I've already told you, mixes of the jumbled sentences. JMatch is match up online. JClose fill in the blanks. Then Masher to mix up all the questions you have created with all these various potatoes, and you can create a single test. So let us see the multiple choice question. JQuiz. Again, let us go to geography. Here you choose the multiple choice. Here the same. What is the capital of India? To give out the answers. This interface gives you enormous flexibility. Just give all the choices, and here to accept which is the correct answer, you award the marks, percentage of marks for each correct answer. Here you accept correct and award marks for it. Make it 2 or 5, whichever you want. This is actually a then click the down arrow there, it will take you to the next question. You generate the second question. You type the question. Here also you can, if you want, you can insert a picture. Go ahead, insert a picture from the website or from a local file. You can upload and give it a try. First you save the quiz, give it a name, and save it. After you save, only you will be able to import any picture, or you can link it to them and give a picture, import a picture by its link, and key in the dimensions which you want it to be shown. See, let us import a picture. Yeah, got a picture. It is imported already. Let us write the question. Name the condition shown. You give out the choices. So you choose the correct answer, which is set of parameters, and give the marks for the marks. So we have created two questions using multiple choice. It will go and insert a media object. It's nothing but a video file, but you need to add a Windows Media Player or a QuickTime Player for the video to play. You just click the add player, then upload the link the file from your desktop or wherever you have the file, and you can use a video file to create questions. You can configure the output. You can choose the mode, which can be a beginner mode or advanced mode. Let us configure the output. Here you can give the title for the quiz. Here you can type instructions which you want to give to the students. Then you give out all the instructions. Then go to the prompts and feedback. You just give the feedback. Then appearance, you can choose a template, make it look good, add color and all that. Then you can add a timer. You can say set the time limit for the entire exercise. You make it 60 minutes or 30 minutes depending on the number of questions you're asked. And as soon as the time gets over, it will tell you your time is over. So you can save it. Configuration needs to be saved separately. You can save it in the same folder, no issues. So immediately link to the this you have created. Then others you can use a Chrome if you want to upload it to your Moodle. You will have a separate Moodle session later. Here, this one, if you it tells the software how many questions to develop to display in each page. So if you click this, you can choose the number of questions which can be displayed in a single page. You can shuffle the order of questions, you can shuffle the order of answers, and then you can make the answer checking case sensitive. If you mark that, it will look out for the case sensitivity, whether it is capital letter or small letter. I think it is better to leave it unchecked. Now these are all, if at all you want to build an entire website using this software, you can still do it. It's offered to submit the results to your email. You just give out your domain name there, and then your email ID from the domain. You cannot give out your Gmail or Hotmail ID. You need to have a domain-based ID, email ID. So it will may email the results directly to you as soon as the students complete the test. So how are you going to deliver the test to the student? You can add a metadata means to make it searchable. You can export it for printing. You can create a zip package. A zip package can be mailed directly to the student. Give it a name. The zip packet can be mailed directly to the student. That is the basic advantage of this one. Let us save it and see how it is developed. Choose your choice to whether you want to see your work. Click on the file. Test HTML is the name of the file you need to click. Just it asks for a name. Just give it a name. Click OK. So here you have the question. Yes. Click OK. Go to the next one. You can even choose to show all the questions here. You see the image. On Excel, you click the correct answer. Yes, sorry, it is a traffic. Yes, you get a score. You can even ask the software to show all the questions in one go. So it will show it for you. Now let us try out the other component of Hot Potato. Just we try out JClose, which happens to be the Kilimanjaro, or let us see J match it. Match the following. So here, let us arrange country and capital as match the following. Here, one thing is you need to fix one country and one capital correctly. The others will fall in. Others will be shuffled. So one thing you need to fix. So for fixing, just give a checkbox. The other things it will shuffle. It will fix only one thing as right answer. Other things, if you give out the right answer, it will shuffle the other choices. Here you need to give out the correct answers, and then it will shuffle automatically. This is not the way it's done. It is done. Just write it out just to show you what happens if you team, because it doesn't know the correct answer. So what you should do is you should give out only one correct answer, and then you shuffle the other columns. You can create a zip package, or you can keep a drag and drop zip package where you can drag and drop. So this automatically goes. You just keep dragging and dropping correct answer. But when you give check, since it doesn't know the other correct answers, it will say it is wrong. So what you should do is you should give out all the correct answers there in the column, arrange it, and then ask it to shuffle the details. Ask it to shuffle. This is what will happen if you decide to shuffle, the software will not know. So this you should not do. That's the reason why I specifically demonstrated it. You need to give out the correct combination and ask the software to shuffle it. Now let us see what happens. We will give out the correct answers. We will reshuffle it in such a way that correct answers are matched, and then we have fixed one answer as the first one is actually fixed. Other things will remain floating, and it will push it apart so that you will you'll be able to drag and drop the choices. Now you see it will come over with the match for the HTML. So Washington just goes and joins it. Now you drag and drop. Yes. Now if you hit the check button, you will get the score as right. So this is, I just made a error and showed you what will happen. Next we will go to a crossword puzzle. I don't think we will be able to conduct any test using a crossword puzzle. Anyway, if you are ingenious enough, you can go ahead and create a crossword puzzle on the subject and ask the student to take it. It will be a little bit complex. It will take a lot of planning. Make it right if you want. And let us go to the fill in the blanks type of questions which J close will give you, which you close the gap. Here you need to give a title. Again, the capital of India is New Delhi. You highlight the New Delhi and then make it a gap. Here you need to give out alternate answers because it is case sensitive. Someone will join both these words together. Someone will use all caps here. Someone will use all small letters. So you need to give out all the options as alternative correct answers. Then only the software will pick out and evaluate the correct answer. Otherwise, it will say it is wrong. So you need to see in all the possible ways the student will answer this question. So if at all you want to prepare fill in the blanks, you ensure that to come out with alternate answers. The students will come out so that they won't be penalized erroneously. So let us see. We will create a web page, or we will create a zip package again. Zip package, or you can create a standard format if you want to. It's a HTML file. Then you can view the exercise in your browser. Here you just see it. Let us type and see what happens. Then check, give a check, correct, well done, it gives you the score. So now we have created 3 or 4 questions using the various softwares. Now we will go ahead and use the masher to join these questions and create a unified test. I would like you to play around with this software. It is very user friendly. It is developed by one of the UK universities. And something I forgot is a JMix where you can mix up sentences and ask the student to arrange it. Okay, let us mix up. Let us go to the concept of crossing the road. First, you stop at the signal at the first step. Then you look to the right. Then you look to the left. And then you cross the road. So this is the order in which you cross the road. So what happens is if you what will happen, it will jumble the entire sentences, and you will be the student will be asked to reorder it in the correct way. Let us see how it works. Jumble is an interesting tool wherein you can ask a student to prepare, rearrange a few sentences and make it into a short notes. The first thing is stop at the signal, do drag and drop, and then we look to the right, that's the second box, then look to the left, that's the third box, then you cross. And if you click the check button, it gives you the correct answer. So this is one way of making them answer a short notes or ultra short notes, a one line answer or two line answer. You can ingeniously create questions to enable the student to answer the same. Now we will use a masher now. We have looked into all the aspects and we'll use a masher. Combine all the questions we have created with bits and pieces of each software to add the files, where they are saved. It's ideal to save all these files in a single folder. That's in the desktop and hot potato Excel webchain. You just choose all these things, open, it just gets it to the masher, it just mashes and comes out with a complete test. It will go out a complete test. Let us see how you want. You can build it, you batch process it, and then give it a new name, complete one. Save. So if at all you want to add any more files, you can add. If you want, you can create a zip package. Complete. Save. Open zip file. You need to add settings. Check out what all settings are you have given, and then you can give a index title name for the page. Process again. If you want to add any more files, you can add. So it has done the processing. You need to go to the file to open it. Let us see. While building, getting load down, or you will exit the program and try to rebuild the test using masher again. What we should do. Page is not responding. Okay, completed. Now let us see where it is saved. It should be in the same folder. Click the build unit. Building. Now suppose it open and show the page. Then the process is the same. You need to give out a name. Okay. Gives out the question. and then go to the next page. Then you go to the next one, match the items which you created with JMatch. It uses drag and drop. I'm sorry, combo box. Combo box. It uses the combo box. You can check down from and go to the next one. So you see the entire tools have been built. You see hot potatoes. Now another innovation I've already told you is you can stream your video, teaching video or a video class to YouTube channel. Let us see how we use open broadcast system to stream our video. You need to download OBS on the OBS website and install it. Open up the program in the setting, general setting. You choose a dark theme so that you can make everything visible. Other things you need not mess with it. Then go to the stream. I have already told you in the previous slide, you need to key in the key which you generated in the YouTube. Key is already keyed in. Then output. Then you choose the YouTube gaming channel. Not mixer, YouTube and YouTube gaming, right? And the servers are automatically chosen. And then output. Again, you make it into 6,000 to 8,000 kilobytes per second. The encoder will be automatically chosen. Audio bitrate to make it into 320. Then you encoder, you use the maximum quality. And then recording, that is actually if you want to record, you show the software where the recording should be saved. An ideal format, recording format is MP4. Then let us come to the audio. Everything will be automatically chosen. Microphone, you need to know which microphone you are using. You choose the microphone from the drop down list. And then video, you have to choose the resolution. All what happens is software queries the monitor and gets a resolution automatically. Or you need to go to the desktop setting and find out exactly which resolution is supported by the desktop. Here I have connected my webcam. The webcam is already added. The next thing is I'm going to add a window capture which will capture the window I am going to use to stream my class. So let us go to the window capture, create new, okay. Now it is showing my web browser. Showing my web browser. Click the press screen, go to the window capture. Okay, close the browser. You go okay. What has happened is your video capture device has come to the foreground. It is hiding my webcam. So I'm not seeing. So I need to do a certain adjustment. Bring my video capture device to the forefront. You can drag and drop, or you can use the cursor here, this cursor to push the video capture device upwards. When it goes up, my video capture comes to the foreground, so I can minimize my video capture screen so that it will fit into my window capture. So I'll be seen live on the desktop window will be also shown. Then now I need to add the audio input device which happens to be my mic. The audio input device, create a new, open, it will automatically add it. It will tell you the device you need to choose. I am using a Droid card, just use check a Droid card. Okay. Now if it is okay, whenever you speak you can see the green bar pushing to the right. So the adequate volume is it should cross this limit. It should cross this limit. When you speak, the bar comes here. And then if at all you want to record the entire speech, you can click the start recording. It will record the entire lecture, or you can go to, you can pause the recording if you want, you can pause and restart any number of times you can do, and then you can go to start streaming. When it starts streaming, it goes to the YouTube, it gets the entire video, it's streamed live to the YouTube. So, so now you see the green tab which shows that streaming is happening. There is no loss of signal, and your streaming is on. So this is how you use your software to live stream your video lectures to YouTube, or you can record your lectures to your hard disk and then you can upload it as a YouTube video. So these are all the enormous possibilities which you can use, softwares which you can use to create innovative learning resources for students.